Quick disclaimer, my daughter is eating in the back right now, so you might hear her fussing or just doing her baby talks or whatever. So there's that. So this all started about 6 months ago. It was just like a dream. I wanted to make a small game. And at first it actually was a werewolf kind of game. And I was using stories from YouTubers like Mr. Ballin or What Lurks Beneath. And I'm like, you know what? It's this cool werewolf story I heard before, and I want to remake that into a game. Something like Fears to Fathom. Something small, very straight to the point kind of game. Not much like mechanical wise, you're just basically reliving the story. So with that, I had to learn how to work Unreal Engine. Being that I was in school already at the time, it was a little bit more easier to just like get straight into it. But eventually, things started to click. But it was programming that I really had no idea on where to start at. But I did hear that the blueprints were like the easier way to go and stuff like that. So now I actually can create systems with blueprints on my own, which took the most amount of time. Creating logic and modeling is like two different sides of a coin, is just weird. And after tinkering with gray boxes, trying to learn how to make sounds play, trying to learn how logic works and interacts with itself, then the first build of Asodium began. And boy, was it fun. So the first 3 months of game development really was just logic, getting the core done, running, walking, stamina if it existed, but it don't. But basically everything that makes the loop possible. Okay, so I started with the walking, running, all the basic mechanics. Then I moved on to like mechanics of things you have to do, interactions. So after I had everything gray boxed out, really like it worked, but it still just needed the UI to it, or the polish to it. That's when I moved on to like really getting that the gameplay loop finished. Okay, you never know the game you're making until you start making the game. And with that being said, this game started off a whole entire different game than what it is right now. In the beginning, I wanted a werewolf, I wanted a science lab, and I wanted an explosion. And you just mix all three of those together, and boom, that was my game, okay? Which ideally was like a simple game to make, okay? There's an explosion, you wake up, you escape the facility. That was the whole ideal behind the premises of the game. One thing led to another, and the only reason why I didn't go the whole werewolf route was because it couldn't fit through the doors I had created. And I know this was just a simple fix by changing the capsule size or changing the size of the door. But back then, it seemed way more stressful than it seemed like now. It's like I could fix that so easily. Buckle in and understand that game development is never going to go the way you planned 90% of the times. Everything you write in that game doc sometimes may never even be used, okay? Actually, I can confidently say everything I made from day one of my game doc around August, I have never used any of it at all. And during this whole process, I have learned so much shit, packaging a game, setting up a Steam page, all these different things that's like blow my fucking mind, by the way, because you never really like understand what game development is until you actually become a game developer. Then you be like, damn, this is way harder than it seems. So, leading into today, I just finished testing for my game about a week ago, about like 3, maybe 5 days strong. I had about 12 testers, and it was very interesting, okay? Some people finished the game in 15 minutes, and I was like, what the fuck? I'm the developer. I'm the only person supposed to finish this game in 15 minutes. How did you do it? And then there was people who took them hours to complete the game. And I was like, wait, how? What do you actually change there? That was the big question. Like, should I make it longer? Should I make it like not so long? I don't know. In the end, I did just leave that alone because there was no reason for me to change it. I felt like it's my first game. I'm not going to taunt myself with the necessities of trying to make it longer. That was already a hard thing to do. And I'm telling you right now, dictating when people will finish a game and holding them in that game is like the hardest thing to do in the world already. It was no way I was going to go back to the drawing board and try to make it longer or shorter. Okay, lastly, the main concern of my game really was, besides, it was a lot of small different bugs, but the main concern people kept saying was it was way too dark. And I'm just going to leave this here for any future developers that your eyes may be adjusted to your game And when somebody else new play your game, it can probably be a little bit more darker because you see the area you created. Your eyes almost makes up for the darkness a little bit, if that makes sense. So what seemed like it wasn't dark to me, to other people it was super dark. And I'm like, wow. And yes, there were a way to change your settings. I feel like I just should have expressed that in the beginning of the game a little bit more, or explained that to the testers who played my game, but I didn't. It's all a learning experience at the end of the day, and I'm just grateful to have people to even test my game. And besides other bugs like interaction UI popping up before you even get to the area and other stuff that was happening, it was one bug that I still have yet to fix, and that was with the AI. Now, you're probably watching the video in real time of me going through each thing trying to fix the AI, but I never actually figured out what was wrong with it. Some people say it was the capsules. I changed everything. Navigation mesh. I went through every little step possible to try to fix this issue. In the end, I'm still just stuck right now, but I do have a few weeks to release. So I'm like, you know what? That's going to be my last thing I need to fix. And the great part, even if it doesn't get fixed, it does not breaks the game. It just makes the beginning a little bit more like, what are he doing? Which is pretty much what my testers kept saying. Like the first monster was not really interacting with them at all, but he would chase you if you get too close. Which in the end is a win for me because I had to remake the AI and that was very much not fun. With that being said, my daughter is starting to like talk more and stuff like that, so I do apologize for that. I don't know if that comes off like unprofessional or that comes off like I'm a hero, because like what dad records a video with their daughter eating in the background? Like, that's a win for me. All jokes aside, after testing the game and getting all the feedback that was like needed for me to hear, even if it felt like, damn, like they're just crushing my game. If you want to wishlist the game, the link will be in the comments. I'm going to get to my daughter now. She is going crazy. Thank you for watching and supporting my channel and supporting my game. Wishlist it today. Here I come, mama. Calm down.